jump in here and pinch out another vessel. Pretty simple drinking vessel. I've already kind of got it shaped up a little bit here, as you can see. I got kind of inspired. I was going to do, my plan is actually a green man to do next. I want to do a green man face. And so that's going to be one of the next things I want to do. But I don't remember quite what got me on Danny Kaye. The vessel with the pestle has a brew that is true. The flagon with the dragon. Flagon with the dragon. Vessel with pestle has a brew that is true. The flagon with the dragon. Drat. Anyway, it's from the Court Jester movie. And it is a fantastic scene. Actually, the whole movie is absolutely wonderful because Danny Kaye is absolutely wonderful. But anyway, I got that scene like embedded in my head. And so I decided I needed to make a vessel, another vessel, aka vessel or flagon. We'll see what comes out of this. So that's what I'm working on. And then, of course, from there, let's go ahead and get this ready. I don't think I can talk and get this quite. Yeah, I can. I can talk and do anything. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? I can talk and do anything. I always get, and apparently this is pretty common. I don't think I'm the only one who does this. I'm getting this about 1/2 inch to the bottom with my thumb, super technical. Just kind of winging it, but I can tell. But I always get Danny Kaye and Donald O'Connor mixed up. Old movies, guys, by the way. If you're listening to me talk and some of you are younger and you're like, who are these people? These are old movies. But Donald O'Connor, and I think that's right. Donald O'Connor. He's in, oh my gosh, pretty sure the scene's in Singing in the Rain, in the movie Singing in the Rain. So that tells you the era. Because I always want to give credit to Danny Kaye for the scene, and that was the rabbit hole I went down this morning. Make them laugh. There's this scene, and if you can look it up, Donald O'Connor, make them laugh. If you have never seen it for some reason, let me make your life better by make them laugh. It's hilarious. It's fantastic. It's one of the best choreographed, best executed. I'm pretty sure it was a single take. In fact, it was a single take. He was a genius. It was just beautifully done and hilarious. Hilarious. And there are many other, there are many performers who had that physicality, I'm sure, that we have not heard of. He is one that made it big, which is good for him. But definitely check him out if you've not heard of him, Donald O'Connor. And then, yeah, if for some reason you've not watched the Vessel with the Pestle, it's the brew that is true, the flagon with the dragon. I can't remember. In the Court Jester, that was young Angela Lansbury, looking good. She didn't always look good. She looked good though. That was a good movie. That was a hilarious movie. If you haven't checked it out, it's worth it. Not that that's what you're here to hear about. But anyway, that's where, how do I decide what I'm going to work on? Vessel. I thought I was done with vessels. And then I was like, ooh, Danny Kaye. And then I went down a rabbit hole because I got Danny Kaye mixed up with Donald O'Connor. There's a reason that I studied neurodiversity. And it's not just absent interest. All right, keep pinching, pinching, pinching. I had my front door open a little while ago with the dogs up here, but they've all gone home. So you're not going to see a doggy visit. And I've closed the front door because it's just a little too, still a little too chilly. Which, I mean, it's February. Given my hemisphere, longitude, latitude, all that good stuff, having my door closed, long sleeves on in February is not unreasonable. Not unreasonable. All right. You can see I keep pinching in. There's a decent amount of clay down here at the bottom, and I'm pinching in to give it kind of that flagon, the flute bottom. Gives it some height, and it gives it a little bit for me also to be able to pull up into the height. And I just do it little by little. I'm sure there's other potters who would probably do it all at once. I'd probably work kind of slow and steady and not at maybe what would be called back there a production pace maybe. That's just not, I mean, obviously I'm not making production wear, I'm making art pieces, I guess. This is just not production pottery. That's not the kind of stuff I do. And I don't work at production pace either. And I'm not production skilled. I mean, that's a different skill level. That's woof, woof. Production potters are it's a different skill level. It's amazing to get everything the same every time, exactly the same. And that's what you're going for. And that speed, 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 speed. Um, it's not also not how I'm wired. Not how this chick is wired. It's cool. It's really neat. I love to watch people do it for a little bit, and then I can't watch it anymore because I get bored. But man, it's really cool. So wild. Let's see here. Ooh, it's got a lumpy. We don't want. I mean, that's not a bad lumpy, but that's more lumpy than I want. Remove the lumpies. There we go. A little bit more structural integrity right there too. All right. All right, I'm keeping my fingers right in line with each other. Really very similar to a pull on a wheel right there. It's kind of what that reminded me of. Just to kind of straighten get any nice lumps out, like right there, that had a lump that pulled up to the top. And it might give me a little bit more. Whoa. Yeah, that's nice. Human error. Nothing quite like it, right? And that's what you're paying for when you pay for crafts. I'm paying for errors. You kind of are. And practice, skill. So much practice. So much practice. Okay. I might pull you guys down here closer where you can get a better look at this, because you guys are still kind of far away and are getting like the whole shot of the room kind of thing. Well, not whole shot of the room, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, man. And if I pulled you down here a little bit more, you could actually like get involved almost in what's going on. Look at that. Look at that. Look at, whoa, dog. Let's see what we can do that actually gets you like up close in this action. Because I feel like you're paying too much attention to me, and nobody wants to. Who wants to be up in my grill? You want to see what I'm working on, right? Right. Like, who wants to really be in my face? There we go. Now you can actually see the thing and not my grill. That's probably much better. Okay. Not that it's much to see at this point. It's just a vessel with a lot of fingernail marks on the inside. I am going to get my little cup and my liquid, my slip liquid. It's got, of course, some clay particles. And water, and good old white vinegar. And it's only this clay body it's been used for. I'm pretty careful about not mixing clay types, although I have a few times, not with great results. So there's that, not with great results. So learned a lesson. That's probably why I don't. I just, what I'm doing is just basically twisting this sponge on the inside to smooth it as I bring it out. And there's still a few places I'd like to smooth out a little bit more, but I think I'm going to let that chill for a couple. Some nice compression on the rim. Anyway, the same level, but that's righty. Deal with that later. or not, and I'll just leave it not the same level because okay. You know, I like the chunky monkeys. Make that look a little barky. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. Twisty, 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 twisty. All right, so I'm gonna let that hang right here for a moment while I pull out some I set aside because I knew, surprise, I was gonna make more than just a vessel. I was gonna take a little bit more here. And I'm gonna make a flat lid that sits on top. And it should be enough for that. I've got a little bit more if I need to borrow some. I mean, I've got a lot more, but I've got a little bit more. As usual, totally asymmetrical. So, as usual. All right, so we smash that out nicely. Almost fits. Not quite. I don't know too many other potters who would probably do it this way. I can be a bit slapdash, but it works. What I'm going to do now is build back up the edges because, of course, the edges on that got a little thin. So I'm just smacking them back up with my fingers and getting some compression there because they cracked a bit. And now they're all going to get my hands a little wet there. There we go. Oop, no. I thought there was a hair on that. I have remembered all day today to keep my hair up. Oh, sorry. I keep lifting that too far up. That's going to be the only issue with having moved you closer. I have to remember to keep my hands down where you can see them. But I can do that. All right, so I'm just going to set this really quickly. Cool. It does in fact fit. That's what I wanted. Now, got a little bit more over here. Pinch. Just a tiny bit here. Just a little. I really need two things because I'd like to put Want a little handle because handles are nice. But then at the minimum, I'd like little ridges, just even if it's just three, because I don't know that I want to go through, particularly because this is asymmetrical and because it's asymmetrical. Uh, for me to do a rim on this that goes in, I'm going to need, it's going to be a bit. And I don't know if I want to go through the whole process of doing an asymmetrical rim. I don't know if I want to. And I might decide to. It's tracing and all kinds of stuff, and I might decide I want to do it. But what you can do is just so that the lid doesn't slip off and become a complete break hazard, because it's just a complete break hazard as it is. It will just slip right off of this at the first pop on this and shatter on the floor. And why'd you even build the lid? So it needs something to hold it on. It's not nice to just have one that just sits on. So what you can do, and what I think I'm going to do, is just you can just put like four little like nubs on the inside that at least catch. So, okay, yeah, it's asymmetrical and you can't do a really nice rim that goes all the way around that's a perfect circle or anything like that. But I can at least put some nubs on the inside so that if this is sitting on a chair and somebody knocks it and it goes to the side a little bit, the lid doesn't just fall off and shatter on the floor. So those are the kind of things you think about as a potter when you think about it. And it's some of the things I really like about pottery in particular, as an art form, because you really think about the way people interact with your art. You're really thinking about how's this going to get used when it's something that's going to get used. And so there's that whenever we design curriculum, and when you design websites, and when you design uh anything like that. But in my previous life, and then now as well, whenever I'm called upon to usually talk to somebody else in their design and consult with them on it, I'm not often the one, particularly on the websites and stuff like that. But user experience design, human centered design, um so much of that is also about accessibility, and so much of it is about, if you're doing it right, it's also about um, neurodiversity and all of those conversations that we just got into. I just got into by myself over clay and tabs and clay. How did that happen? Wow. Yo. But hey, um, hello. Anyway, but that's why I like clay. That is why I like clay, because we would think about that human centered design and user experience and all of that in curriculums and in learning management systems and in web design and all of that, and that larger ecosystem architecture. And it's so much a part of how you build pottery as well. It's so important, the user experience and how you're interacting with the pottery, also. And potters think about that just kind of naturally. Artists a lot. Ooh, that artist. Sorry, I yelled at you guys there. You can tell I'm getting really into something because I can't modulate my my volume. So you can tell I'm talking about something that I really care about, because all of a sudden I'm like, "Blah!" I'm yelling at you. Okay. It happens. But yeah, artists in general, I think are really, I'm going to try to whisper more since I have a microphone on. Um, they're really good, I think, at considering multiple perspectives, which we would call, I guess, also being good at empathy. So being good at, yeah, it really is. It's being good at empathy. But it's multiple user perspectives, multiple ways of thinking. Certainly from an author perspective, you have to do that also. I mean, I didn't even address that perspective, but that almost goes without saying. Almost goes without saying. All right, I'm just kind of vaguely putting these, but this will catch. This will do what it needs to. And this also, the other cool thing about this is it gives you. So I'm going to do another thing here in a second that I didn't tell you about yet. Um, I'm going to make a little tea strainer to go in this. So this can be a little tea vessel. Because that seems to be my word, vessel to vessel. So I'm gonna make a little tea thing to go in this, and then this is a little lid, and then these are the little things that are really ostensibly to catch the lid so that it doesn't, again, if it's hit, it doesn't fall on the floor, but it makes the lid a little mini table so that your tea bag can sit on it after, or your tea strainer thing can sit on it after you're done with it. So that is the nice thing about this. So I didn't really include that before, but that is the nice little thing about these. They make it's little feats. So yeah, that'll kind of serve two purposes. All right, actually, this would be perfect. Let's do that side up. Cool. All right, well, that unfortunately needs to just dry for a couple. Not really unfortunately, but I also want to pop the top. Which means next, we're going to move over here and we're going to start doing the strainer that's going to go into it. Pinch that a few more. Kind of keep coming back to it as it dries a little bit, and I feel comfortable just a little bit. Right. And then I'm going to move it to the side, I think, so that I can work where it is. Hey, wait a second. There we go. There we go. Getting the smooth on. I should have scored these underneath. I've done that twice today. Forgotten to score the thing I'm attaching it to. Not good. Not good, girl. Twice today. Twice. Twice. Okay. I feel better about that. Didn't like the way those were. Something just didn't feel right about that. There's something didn't look quite right. That one still does something doesn't feel right. Okay. Apologize. I think my necklace just hit the microphone. I don't feel like that one's attached well. It's like it wants me to think that it is. But I don't think that it actually is. I don't trust it. Now it is. Not going anywhere anymore. No, I don't trust any of them. I'm just making sure that there's no separation. I don't know. Something about these. Those two right there, I didn't like. I didn't like the way they were behaving when I was smoothing out. They were dancing around a little bit. Like loose teeth or something. All right. Now, of course, I left some lines in it that I don't like. You're still getting jiggy with it there, aren't you? What is up with that? Okay. We're going to pretend you're good. We're going to pretend you're going to go to the side. I'm going to do one more. This. I'm glad you guys can't see my face. Because now that I know that there's not a camera on it, whew, all the faces. Dropping all the faces. I am pulling the tools out, which is nice. See? Using that in the very bottom to get this nice compressed center. No, let it go. Whoa, and I'm spinning it to try to, there we go. That's nice. To try to get it to let go and not hold on to it and like take clay up with it. That looked good. Okay. This has a nice shape and a good rim. A good start to a rim. And that last part, when any liquid gets towards your mouth, has a good smooth. I'll do this again before it's totally dry. Travel. So it's not going over anything that's too rough. And I'll do this again before it's dry. It's still quite wet. But that was a good start. All right, my friend, let's get you over here. And then Mom is making a little version of it, which is kind of funny. This is actually probably too much clay, but that's okay. I can pull some off at the very end. And I've already done this several times with this clay, but You can never do this too much, right? As far as I know, I don't know. Maybe you can. Plus, it's getting a little. I should have kept it wrapped up just now. That was foolish. Thought I was going to get to it a little bit quicker, but it's not. I mean, it's not bad. All right, so I just need it to be, I'm kind of, sort of just making a vessel again. Just a small fat version, small fat vessel, short and fat. How short and fat? Do I have enough clay for it? I was thinking, yeah, this has got to be enough. This is heavy. It's going to have to work. I'm going to have to work. Actually, let's go for ham. I do. I started to get it started just so you kind of know what glitched out there. I glitched. Um, I started to get it started a little bit more like a bowl, which isn't completely inappropriate. But I changed my mind as I was doing it, that I wanted it really much more like this vessel and to start off in more of a tube shape. Um, because I do really want it to end up more like this, and I made that decision a little late, even though I already knew that was the decision. Meh, I just glitched. That was a glitch, on camera glitch. All right, just a much smaller version, which means these clumsy hands have to work on something much smaller. On camera. Sound effects. Okay, there we go. Now we just push it open. What does that remind me of? Dune, maybe? I am keeping some extra down here at the bottom, and that's on purpose. And I'll show you in a minute. That is very much on purpose. Stuff is starting to get a little mean and difficult to work with. That's okay. I can work with that. I can work with that, you know? I really can. I'm good. See, we're good now. It's all cool. I mean, not all cool. That little, whatever that is problematic, but we'll work through it. And we'll keep working through it. All right. Fact, could be I did not use enough clay. It's a shot glass. It's not a tea strainer. And all I'm doing is continuing to smooth this out. I mean, I guess I should come up with witticisms. My apologies. Witticism, witticism, witticism. But it's really just continuing to smooth the sides, pull them out, compress, try to ensure that they're coming out about the same thickness. And then I'm going to work on the rim here. But I have other plans for the rim too, so I'm not mega concerned with it. We're just getting this nice and thin, which I know is crazy for me, right? If you've watched any of these, I don't really do thin. It's not really my jam, but here we are. But here we are. Ta-da. Really is like a cute little shot glass, though. All right, now I'm pulling the extra I left at the bottom up towards me. So what I'm going to do is pinch it off, this extra on the edges, basically. But I want to do it carefully because I don't want to make any holes. And I want this to maintain its structural integrity. And so I really am going to like pull this out and kind of rip this off. I know that's crazy. It's because I put this on here by mistake. I mean, this was totally a mistake. I would not advise this is me experimenting. This is why we experiment before we have classes. And I didn't want to pull more out of here. I could have just let this, like, carve this off and done other things, but I decided to pull it off this way and use it because why not? Because why not? How thick is that still? Let's do this without ripping. It really looks like this would be really cool. So another thing you could easily do with this that would be awesome, and that I will do with this, uh, is make clay flowers. So you could easily take this and then do additional layers, make a stem, and make clay flowers. So another, cool craft idea, fun thing that could come out of that. That's not what we're making right now. That's not what this is. But just thinking about this form and other things you could do with this form, put a little hole in it again, and you've got yourself basically this is a tulip. You just need the colors for it. So you've got yourself a clay tulip. Super fun. Clay is so fun. I love it. This also fits quite nicely in our mug. I'll show you in a moment. And I'm going to use this leftover stuff here to make a little rim to go around it so that it will fit in it, but not fall all the way in it. And then I might color it like a tulip. I don't know. Maybe I'll glaze it like a tulip and glaze the mug like grass and dirt, and then you put the tulip down in it. So that could be kind of cool. So maybe that's what it'll be whenever it's finished. And then this, of course, is a little tray that's also a little lid that fits on top of all of it. And that could be grass. This doesn't have to be very big. In fact, you wouldn't want it to be at all. I wouldn't want it to be. I don't want it to be. Let's use the proper tense. Why don't we? Who taught English? I did, which is really terrifying because, whew, do I use? Oh, yeah. I mean, I write novels, so my English can't be that bad, but it can be that bad. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. I'm like, Gerund? Is that your name? I'm sorry. That's boring. I don't really care if your preposition dangles as long as I know what you're saying. And spelling. Don't even get me started on spelling. Don't even get me started, man. Oh my gosh. It's a long snake. Snaky, snaky, snaky. Quite fond of snakes. Well, I'm trying to chit chat here. I think they're cool. And incredibly important for the environment. I used to have a snake, live with a snake. I question how much you can have a snake. Oh, Cleopatra, the ball python. She was fun. She liked to be handled. She was very social. Very social. I mean, she really liked to be handled. She would go, I worked at a science museum, and she would go to work with me. And I swear she really liked being on the floor. Um, I think she just liked being around people. And that's why I ended up finding her a home when I stopped working at the science museum, and being able to take her out and do shows and da da da, and she was out all the time and meeting people. She, honest to goodness, seemed depressed. She seemed really depressed, um, and despondent and lonely. Like, honest to goodness, she really missed being around people. So she went to a home where that would be something that she went to a teacher. Um, but yeah, she liked her peeps. She was cool with it. She liked to be touched. She liked it when the kids would come up to the cart and put their hands on her head and stuff. She was cool. Cleo. Kids like to watch her eat. That was always so wild. All these little kids coming in and, like, man, sometimes Sunday dresses and stuff. Coming into the science museum. What does everybody want to see? They want to see the ball python kill a live rat, live mouse. It's like, wow, okay. That's circle of life. All right, we are pinching here to make sure that those join nicely. Whoa, I got all kinds of stuff on my fingers. And then we're gonna get to the part that I'm not gonna subject you to. Some point. Because if this is a strainer, it's got to strain. So the holes got to get punched in. So many holes. So many holes. So that's going to happen to this. And that's about as monotonous as you probably think it is. I mean, it just is. It's about as monotonous as you think it is. All right, this is not going to look like a tulip when I'm done with it. Just making sure that the lip that I had to attach, because I did not plan things out effectively there. That was my own fault. But you know what? That's mother of invention. Necessity, mother of invention. That's right. That's right. And I can figure some things out. Sorry. Picking it up. I think I need to tilt you guys up just a little bit. Because I like having this a little, when I get in the zone, I like having this a little closer to my face, apparently. I am learning myself also as I'm learning you all. Because it just like finds itself getting further up here. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see. That's a thing. See what I'm doing? I'm just smoothing, smooth. And that's just what I'm doing. So much of that. I wonder if you'd be better off over my shoulder. You know, that might actually be better. Just occurred to me from the black table. Because I keep thinking of this as from the front, like you're going to look at me. But again, ain't nobody got time for that. All right. So, ta-da. It, of course, can't dry like that, or else it's just going to attach right to it. But ta-da. Well, get over there, for the love of gosh. There we go. Move that over there. Thank you. Can I get any more height out of that? Can I make that happen? Oh, sorry. Okay, that's all I'm going to dare. So what I did was took, me one more time, make sure that's still, smack that out of shape. Smack that up. You know what I'm saying. You're with me. Okay, that's good. We're good. Okay. I took this tool and smacked against the inside of that a few times, uh, just to see if I could get a little smoother on the inside and just get a little bit more height out of this in this direction. Just the slightest bit. It was a pipe dream, really, but I think I did get a tiny bit. All right, and I'm acting like I have to seal every tiny little crack and crevice up. Oh my gosh. But this is going to get glaze. This is going to get glaze. Of course, you do have to think about it as what's going to get glazed, what's not going to get glazed, because it has to sit down. But it's going to sit just like this when I glaze it. I'm going to set it just like this, and it's going to be what goes in. This is going to be what gets glazed. But glazing these is tough because, and we'll look more at glaze later when I have a glaze load to go in. I'll do some bids on that also. But because we're going to have a bunch of holes in it, it's very easy for the glaze to fill this in. I mean, that's that's going to be part of what we have to make sure does not happen. In fact, honestly, most of the time when I make these, I don't glaze these. I just don't, because I don't think it's worth it given what you're using them for. But that does mean that the clay is absorbent. Um, so we'll experiment some together to get that really, really good. And it's really just about a careful glazing, just not too much. I have a couple that I did that turned out really well. So it really just is about the amount. Right. I like to work this a little bit more before I poke the holes. And don't forget the other thing here. Well, unless I was going to say, I want to attach a lid to this, or not a lid, oh my gosh, a handle. I want to attach a handle to this lid. But the other thing I could do is not, I mean, it doesn't have to have one. You can pick it up by the edges, and not having a handle on it makes it a more effective place to sit this. So, and speaking of, I need that to be a little flatter so it can sit if you want to use it that way. So there is that. So you've got that thing. And then the other option that you always have for something like that, I don't do it very often, but it is a really good option, and I've got the stuff here to do it. Uh, is you can glue something on it after it's all kilned and everything. And so, like, if there's a precious stone or a really nice handle you've seen that's like a statement that goes with the rest of the piece, that's always an option as well. Or if you throw the handle separately and do it separately, and then you want to attach the two, then I mean, that's also an option. I always try to do it all and do it all from clay at one time. It's almost like a game. It's like a thing. But those are all kind of options that you have as a ceramicist. So it's not like you have to do that. It's like a compulsion that I have, uh, that I do to myself. It is not something that you have to do. In fact, the glued on handles look really nice. The biggest thing with them is, again, it comes back to, and if you watch many of the videos, my gosh, you'll hear me say this. Uh, my thing about dishwashing, I want, if at all possible, if I'm going to use it, I cannot say that anything that I make is dishwasher safe. I cannot. It is not. And that's just the nature of hand building and glazing, that you just can't say that what you make is dishwasher safe. I can't say that. But I dishwash everything that I make. Everything. Because I'm lazy. Because I am lazy. And I'm just gonna admit it. So one of the things, darn it, see, I knew he was bad. I knew it. I could feel it. That's better now than later. This was good. This was good. This was good. So one of the things I worry about is the living through the dishwasher and glued on pieces like that have a really hard time living through the dishwasher. That's one of the things that will be the first to come off. Whereas something that's baked on from the get-go is certainly not impossible that it's going to come off. That's certainly not. But it's really unlikely, given the heat that it's had to go through to become attached. So that's my thing with it. That's one of the reasons I don't like to do the glue. And I guess the more likely, there are chemicals in glazes, and that's one of the reasons that you can't guarantee. You have to talk about, like, the stuff I use is not lead based. It's all food safe. I couldn't think of the words for any of this stuff. But all of that is contingent on blah 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 conditions. And again, I mean, we cook with it, we eat off of it, we all of that stuff. But all of those things are always contingent on specific conditions. So of course, glazes have chemicals in them. Glass is made from chemicals. But I just don't. I don't know. There's something about glue potentially heating up. And leaching into something I'm going to drink. I just don't. It worries me. It worries me. Well, and the whole chemicals thing. Chemicals are in apples, they're in air, they're in whatever. So, whatever. All right, they killed Kenny. Okay. What I'm doing now is checking. Yeah. It really fits better that way. So this even has kind of a preferred fit, but it definitely needs something on it, which is problematic. Let me move this over here. Okay. That does mean that I would need more clay. Are we ready? Oh, it is ready. All right, there's no more avoiding it. It is time. I know exactly what this looks like, by the way. Oh, I know. So this is what the next however long of my life looks like. Let's do a real quick smackety smack. So this smackety smack, don't talk back. There we go. That's what I needed to do. I need something looked off. I really, really needed that to be flat so that it can sit down. And I'm just like moving around here. There we go. Very good. Okay, now I'll show you a few and then I'll turn this off because this is going to be ridiculous. Because really, what this is poking holes, poking so many holes. I do make some sense out of it. Like, I don't just poke randomly. At least not up here, not up on the little, I've just made myself a little flat. And I am very thoughtful about that. And want to make a nice pattern there and maintain some structural integrity, but make sure that everything drains out nicely. And then I do kind of think of this in, well, in quarters. I did not mean to do that, but I did kind of mean to do, because I do think of this, and that's almost easier, one, for me to face a task like this. Because it's such a mundane, kind of repetitive, kind of, oh, are you kidding me? I can't believe I have to do this kind of thing. And this is a nice pattern on the strainer. It's a nice little pattern. So I quartered this off with a little line with this tool. And then I'll just start with a diamond, basically. Based on those lines on the bottom. And then one dead center. Got a little off. It's all right. And then I just start working out. Okay, that should probably be, really need one more down here so that I keep the pattern. Something got off, it looks like. There we go. All right, it still has structural integrity. Something. So just kind of keep doing. Oh my God. Just freaking kill me now. Yep, here we go. This is pretty much what the next hour of my life looks like. Yeah. That was too far up. Oh my God. Maybe not an hour. I probably exaggerate just because it feels like it. I have no idea how long this actually takes. Maybe I should just keep this going so I have an idea. God. Okay. Listen to the music. Okay. Just make a hole. You don't have to angst over this. Just make a hole. Actually, you do have to angst over it. You do. It's forever. Could certainly make this say something. I don't know that I'm not. Ancient alien dialect. Mm-hmm. What did I just do? Oh my god. Glitched. I glitched. It happens. So one of the reasons I'm going around like this in this kind of dance around, one, because I prefer to do it this way, uh, but it also means that it's drying, and so the structural integrity kind of stays up and keeps getting stronger as I keep putting holes all around it. And I'm diminishing its structural integrity instead of in one place, kind of all around it. I'm doing this dance all over as it's continuing to dry. And in theory, I feel like I'm spreading the wealth out rather than concentrating on one area and completely destroying its structural integrity while it doesn't have a chance to dry and having it fall in. I'm spreading it out while the whole thing's drying. Um, and so that's one of the reasons I'm going around it like that. It's not just it's one. I mean, it does kind of help me get through it, and it helps me concentrate on it a little bit because I don't really want to work in just one area and go blah 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 blah. That would just be mind numbing. But there is actually more of a method to the madness than just that. Why does that look so different, man? What did I do there? Hmm. Interesting. Okay, that's all right. I need to move from the top after this one because I'm taking too many holes way up high, and I can tell it's starting to mess with how well it can stand up. I need to move down some. All right. Doing three now. Living dangerously. All right. At some point, you really do just start feeling like I just need to start poking holes. You just need to start poking holes more randomly. But you got to control yourself because there will just be this moment where you just are like, you know what, this can take it. It can. And you just want to start smacking it. Don't do it. Fight the urge. Fight the urge. So I talked about the user experience, human-centered design, all that kind of stuff earlier. And this is where I start thinking about where water sits when I make tea in one of these and where I get aggravated because water, like in the little corners in the bottom, um, and start putting extra holes in the little areas to make sure that no water is going to gather in any weird places and that it all drips out nice. Of course, what you can get yourself into the problem of then is like you still have to maintain structural integrity. Um, but yeah, start really looking at where are those places. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Whoops. Oops. All right, we're looking over here. You could make this look like a strawberry really, really, really easily. Um, I was talking about that other piece looking kind of like a lily. This could be a strawberry. Super easy. It almost already looks like one. All right, I think we're good until this gets leather hard. So that's really the next thing I want. I want this to take a little bit more time, and then I want to spend a little time with some pieces here. I always say that, and then it's like 10 more minutes of me going, maybe not. Because then it's always the perfect time to do some other portion. Like the last little bit of this rim needed to be joined down. It had a little bit of a seam. And this is a really good time to do that. Yeah, it was great. Perfect. Love that. Cool. Cool, cool. A little piece got in there. Can we get you out of there? Get out. Come on, bud. Yeah, that's nice. Sweet. Okay. That. I need more clay, guys. I don't think I have any that's out of the bag. Cat's out of the bag. No, it's right here though. Oh my god. Ugh. Big bag. So freshly opened 25-pound bag of clay. Oh, here it is. I needed that. All right, I don't really need much. I didn't really necessarily need this tool to even slice it off. I could just yoinked a handful, but I'll pull some out and put it in a plastic bag. And maybe I'll do a little project with a little bit. Sorry, I'm trying to move you guys away from it. Ah, so noisy. The little bits are good for jewelry also. It's just fun to make. Got some earrings over on a nearby shelf. All right, so what are we going to put on this? I got a plan. Huh. There we go. Now I can actually like work. There we go. We'll get it all figured out. It's an adventure. I hear someone coming up the driveway. It's probably a delivery. Yep. Can't imagine it's anything I need to sign for. I'm making another snake. Another snake. Chunky snake, chunky snake, chunky snake. Oh, chunky snake, chunky snake. Chunky snake. Anyway, chunky snake. We're going to deal with that here in a second. Going to make sure we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Well, we're good. All right. We're good. We're good. Pretty sure that we just got dog food delivered. So the dogs are barking at their food. All right, chunky snake. Oh, chunky snake. Chunky snake. Chunky snake. All right, that's ridiculous. I'm ridiculous. I'm ridiculous. Even the kids when I was taught like grade school thought I was ridiculous. So this is silly because what I was not going to do and what I was going to do on the inside, and then I was like, no, I'm now going to do on the top. But it won't be, here's the key, is it won't be important that it's the asymmetrical shape. I'm not trying to make it fit inside perfect. But still, it's so typical of me, so hilarious. What? So here we go. So typical. We're still going to do the thing, even after I was like, I'm not going to do the thing. It takes too long. I don't want to do it. It's hard. Do the thing. Do the hard thing. Always do the hard thing. This is still pretty darn malleable, which is okay for what we're doing. Scoring. Oh, shoot. No, that's fine. Just a little nail mark. Get out of my way. Thank you. Oh, shoot. Kind of knocked the wall down there, but I can pull it right back up again. There we go. I made a little barrier. There we go. There's no way that's going to fit inside. If it did, I mean, that'd be wild. I mean, there's no way this is going to fit as a lid at this point, but not this way. What I want is for that to be the top up. And now it is a little plate as well, with a little lip on it to catch the drips. No, just this. There we go. All right, and then I want to flip it back over to actually dry that way. Yes. And one more good smoothing. I would like something. Let's see, what can I put under this? Could just put a sponge. Not ideal. Well, here. Darn it, a piece of plastic. Plastic. Here we go. I used this earlier today for the cauldron lid. I'm gonna do this. Put it underneath here. It might be too much, actually, or it might be kind of perfect. No, it might be too much. Might need to cut it down. I need a little body underneath this, just a little. Actually, might be. It's trying to fall down in the center, of course. Now that I raised it up. And I need something under there that it won't stick to. To hold it up. I have scissors. I also have the knife I was using earlier, so. And this is why it's so hard to get rid of things. Nothing is garbage. There we go. That's better. That's what I wanted to see. Now it's got a little oomph under it. It actually holds up. There we go. Very nice. Now it just needs to dry. I unfortunately say that a lot. Here we go. Some of the holes look like they've got clay flaking back into them, so. And there are definitely places where I could continue. I really only quit because it wasn't fun anymore. Okay. Now, question is, do we want something else? I feel like that's a little thick right there. So, I haven't built a mug like this before or a vessel, but I decided as I was thinking about if this needed anything else as a final touch. Definitely built for a righty, so there's that, I guess. So this is definitely now built to be picked up and handled. And it's got a definite, like, I don't know if you can even see it, but yeah, thumb and finger, like, my hands aren't very big, so I don't know how useful it'll be to anybody, but like, it's got a grip. It is made with a grip. And then this is made so that it can be drunk from anywhere, but drunk from anywhere. What the hell can I see? I taught English. What the but you can drink upon this vessel from any direction. However, this particular one will be most fortuitous. I don't like you doing that. Why were you doing that? Okay, thank you. User error. This actually is not what this is meant to be used for. I would not mind a paddle, but this works just fine. If the user is paying attention. And not, whoa, and not me. And obviously not me. If the user is not me, that's when this goes well. Why did I not wrap that up? What the heck? Okay. Quick save. It was almost a fingernail disaster. Disaster might be a little Silly, pedantic. I think after this, I'm holding off on writing more until more things publish because I'm waiting on a bunch of things to publish. They're with publisher. Um, I'm ready to do a dragon painting, I think. That, or I decide I dive into another clay dragon project, but I'm feeling a dragon. Feeling a dragon. So I think that's what's next. That's what's next. This will be your favorite part. No, I was joking. Just a tiny bit. I'm not known for a ton of trimming. Um, I love it when people do. I love quirky little feet, and when people do those cool little feet where there's like little circles upon circles and all sorts of stuff. I love it. I think it's adorable. Um, and they're so clever. I'm not known for my quirky little feet. I mean, every now and then you'll get something, you'll see something, and it'll have some little something on it. Usually not. Usually it's a stamp and like a circle or something. It's just not. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I love it though. I love it. I love it. I think they're so cute and so creative when people do those little. I think I love them. I love them. It's not my thing. No, 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 no. But I do. Oh my gosh, some of them. Oh, some of the feet people put onto the bottom of their works are. Oh my gosh, they're entire works of art themselves. They're amazing. I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And I wish I could think of a name. I'm not good at that. I need to get better at that. I'm one of the worst I know, worst people I know at remembering names and being able to like name drop like, oh, such and such is so good at this artist. I will forget. I'll forget my own name. I'll forget my name, and I'm actually not exaggerating. It's really not a complete exaggeration. But you'll ask me like, "Who's your favorite performer?" And I'm going to be like, "I don't even remember anybody. I don't. I don't remember anyone. I remember nothing." Performer. What is the word performer? What is this word that you speak? I don't know it. I. Ooh, I'm just going to go. It's bad. It's bad. And then I don't like if I get myself psyched up and I get myself prepped for it, but whoo, I can definitely uh just in like casual conversation kind of thing do a total shutdown on anything like that. What movies do you like? I can think of one movie name, one at that point. Um Forget about it. I got nothing. I need to just walk around with the list of everything that I like on my phone so I can be like, let me tell you what I like by what my phone says I like because I can't remember when asked. When I'm alone, of course, I can tell myself, but I could rattle that list off out of nowhere. But goodness forbid somebody asks me to actually just say it. There's somebody out there that knows what I'm talking about. I know there is. All right, so that's what this is. It's actually a little stamp. So I'm gonna stamp the bottom of this. Stamp. I haven't thought about stamping the cauldron yet. I might do that. Ooh, this might be a little softy soft for this. I may have gotten overzealous. No, it's not too bad. Little light stampage. Made sure this was all pretty even too, which is good. Light stampage. Still holding them pretty well. I really don't think I want a handle on that. I think this is a pick-me-up buttercup. I do want to give this a little smoothing. Not actually, I really don't. I really want it to have, I really don't. Hands off. Hands off. I want it to have that texture. So let me not. No touchy. And back off from that. Let's not do that. So that is what we got. And I basically just need to leave it alone. But what I can do is, let's see how the cauldron is doing. And you all who are here for this, if you stuck around, surprise, cauldron. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, he's looking good. No, look it. Oh, wait. How do I? Look at that. Crossbones in our little cauldron. He's got, made the lid earlier. I want to do a little bit to the bottom because its bottom hasn't had anything done to it. It's just total roughage. And while I'm not too crazy over stuff like that, I really am pleased with how that turned out. You know, I don't want it to just be nothing. Like I didn't try at all. I mean, come on. Like I didn't try or care because I do. And I did. So I'll move this right here so you can see. We'll join everybody else. You can see it's not at all. And that was very intentional. Super, super, super intentional. I don't want to take any off of this because I made it. Exactly what I wanted it. So I do just want to make sure it's nice and flat and compressed. Good. A couple ripples in it. I'm just getting those out. And then I'm getting a nice, you know what, before I do that, stop. I need something to hold that up and give it some structure. Apologize if you just got a rear shot. Plastic bags, man. Suck. But plastic bag. So 2 plastic bags. Oh yeah. Okay. Now, as just could tell when I touched that, it was just, it's fragile. And it's going to be a lot happier to have those bags. But I do still need to make sure that I support it with my other hand. So that's what my right hand is doing right now. It's all about support. And I'm using my left carefully to carve out an edge. on what was a bit of an existing base already. But not totally. All right, I just wanted to give it a check for how thick it still was. I didn't want to take very much anyway, but better safe than sorry, as they say. It's good. Okay, good thickness. My water is a bit of a distance. I'm going to move this because my hand has now hit it twice, and I don't like that. That's a little more than I wanted it to be. All right. I just wanted something kind of rim-ish. Guess that's not a rim. There we go. I wanted it a little bit more pronounced there, but I accidentally pushed up a little bump. But I got it. All right, that's all I'm taking off. That's it. Now I'm gonna work on the base, not the pedestal. That was what I was looking for before. Pedestal. All right. So what I'm going to do before I grab my liquids again here, my vinegar, I'm going to grab a water really quickly. Liquids for myself so that I can continue to speak and work and be smart and not be a basket case. Water is good. Water is your friend. All right, I should not put it up here, however. That is bad studio behavior. I'm gonna put it back over on the table it came from because that is good studio behavior. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. All right, so now I got the pedestal. So what I'm going to do now is use my sponge and smooth out the bottom really nicely. All right, just getting it like so smooth. So smooth. So smooth. There's some places not so smooth. So smooth. So smooth. All right. That is pretty good. I like it. And so now I want to do the stump while I have it here. The stump. Make sure it's in good shape. Centered and centered on the crossbones. Ooh. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. No, no, no. All right. That's not what we're doing. Not what we're doing. Let's one more smooth. Okay. First, so we don't destroy what we have made, we're going to carefully pick it up. I'm going to take these out. One out, leave one in. I'm going to carefully press against the bottom whilst we carefully press down. Just terrifying and satisfying. Oh my god, don't press through, press just enough. That was barely enough. Whew, that'll bake on. I can make that work. I stamped it. That'll work. I'd love to try a little. Now, I'll tell you what I can do. I can use some underglaze to make that a little bit more. No worries. I will make that fine. I would just assume not press on that again because that was not any fun. So we'll leave that as it is. So that guy now has his stamp. I'm going to put him upside down over here. Still with the, in fact, I'm going to put this back in it. So that's cool. And then what I made earlier, let's see how he's doing actually while we're here. Oh, he's doing good. This is the lid that goes in the cauldron. It's a little skull, scary face lid. He needs a little TLC too. And he's just at the leather hard stage, just getting there, where I can actually do a little. He needs some eye surgery. Okay. You should be able to kind of see what's going on with that dude. He's real small. But You're really far away from him. You're going to be here. You might as well, like, see what's happening. Be nice if you weren't seeing the pores in my face, but suffer. There's really not much to look at right now, but we're getting there. Ooh, I'm going to hit this if I'm not careful. Don't do that. We've been here together. We know how long these things take. Let's not do that. Keep looking at the wrong thing. Let's not do that. Isn't there some cartoon who laughs like that? He's a dog, right? No, he's a cat. He's a blue cat. Am I wrong? It's like a baseball cap, like a Peaky Blinder kind of thing. Am I wrong about that? No. Okay. Has a huge nose. But I guess we do. I mean, when you think about a skull, like, very small. It's like, oh, things on the outside. Snot. Clay snot. Technical term. Obviously, this going on the skull or the crossbones is quite appropriate. Let's see. Probably need a bit more. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Okay. See if I can do the same on this side and get a bit more scrambled up in the brains. That reminds me of the mummy. Eva. Oh my God, so beautiful. Evie. Evelyn. That's right. Evelyn. Evie. Evelyn. Just put it up in his nose and scrambled it around. I need to watch that movie. The original. Well, the original's not. You can't say that because there was the Mummy, I think, in black and white, right? So that doesn't really work as a statement. But you know what I meant. O'Connor, I'm on the wrong side of the river. You're on the wrong side of the river. Obviously, I've never been good at doing quotes. I am not that person. Not not well, unless it's like Mel Brooks, and that I'm on. But otherwise, I forget. But or say them wrong when they come out of my mouth when it's actually time. I always do. But you know where I was going with that. O'Connell, looks like you're on the wrong side of the river. Looks like got all the horses. I can't deliver it well. I'm not a deliverer. I'm just not. Unless I've rehearsed it and rehearsed it. It's just not who I am. And I say that, and then, guys, I've done improv and I'm good at it. So I must be lying in some way. It's because I'm trying to mimic someone else. And I want it to sound exactly like that part. And I want it to be perfect. And I know it's not going to be. And this is being recorded for posterity. For posterity. For posterity. And that's such an iconic, talk about an overused word. Ugh. But it is such an iconic scene. All right, little Headley. Speaking of Mel Brooks, Headley Lamar. All right, good, Headley. I'll pull you off. Just shift. Sorry, that was my hand. You guys didn't want that. You don't want that. All right, little freaky dude. He's still not ready to test. He is so specifically made. Um, the only thing he could possibly fit in is that cauldron. That's it. That's the only thing he could fit in. He is made to fit into that vessel. And he's got to get dry enough so that I can see if I even made it work. So that's where we are now. I've been trying to get that one little specific flaw out of there for a while. That was cool. Nice. Isn't he great? Appropriately freaky, I think. Yeah. All right. All right, guys. I'm going to get this stuff where it needs to be to store and start on some next stuff. But it's going to take a bit of cleanup.